If you rocking with Killa, one thing you need to consider, it's going to be a good time. Amen, say man, it's your girl Kaya J, and you are listening to Amen, say man, the podcast where we talk about topics that matter. And today, we are going to talk about something I struggle with time and time again. And it's what's now versus what's next. So, I don't know about y'all, but I'm an overachiever. I am a planner. I am always just thinking about ways to be better, thinking of ways to grow. And just once I do something, I'm ready to do something else. And sometimes I get so caught up in my future that I can't even be present in the present, you know? And so because I know this was something I struggle with, and just after talking to some of my friends and my family and just different people, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I need to tackle this on the podcast. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we are going to dive into, once again, being able to better understand why it's important for us to focus on our now so we can actually be able to get to what's next. We're going to kick it off with talking about the trap of next. So we currently live in a culture of constant striving, always looking for the next goal, the next title, the next glow up. What you gonna do in the future? How can you top what you did last? Or how can you top this person? How can you top that person? We are constantly just in this culture of never really just sitting and appreciating where we are, because we're always looking and trying to see what we can be. You know? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, or I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being a planner, but it is something wrong when you can't even see where you are because you're so busy at looking at where you want to be, you know? Because where you want to be isn't promised, but your present is, you know? Because sometimes we're so busy chasing the next that we miss the gift that's now. If you're always in motion but never in reflection, you'll stay spiritually stuck. So like if you've been feeling like, okay, I'm doing all the things, I'm making the moves or whatever, but I still don't feel fulfilled, it's probably because, once again, you so busy working towards something that you may not even ever be able to reach. I jokingly say this, but I be like, you so busy. I talk to my friends and my people who are warriors, and I tend to be a warrior. I'm a warrior that's transitioning into a warrior. And so I'm like, you so worried about, what's going to happen next week and da-da-da-da, and you can walk outside and get hit by a bus today. And Lord, please, I say that lightly, please cover me as well as all of my people to where that doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is, like, we so busy preparing for tomorrow and tomorrow may not come, and nothing is promised. Another day is never promised. And so just being able to kind of operate better in that, and a quote that kind of helps me when I feel like I'm starting to get in my head or I'm starting to be trapped by what's next, is you can be so addicted to becoming that you forget to just be. And so I try to take times and moments where I could really just be, where I can enter a season where I may not be working on anything. I may not have a project going on, or it just may be kind of slow at work, and understanding that that's okay. And so now we're going to dive into why the now matters. So the now is where the foundation is laid. Now is where you develop discipline, character, and connections to shape the next. Now, I'm going to talk to y'all about an experience that made me realize, or why I know like certain things like this is just true. It just holds weight. When I was in high school, I always wanted to do like an etiquette dinner for young ladies. I feel like having table etiquette as well as just like professional etiquette definitely gives you the confidence to enter any space and feel like you know what to do. I didn't do it in high school. I ran out of time. I wasn't able to do it in college because of COVID. And then I kind of just had gave up on wanting to kind of curate that event for young ladies. It wasn't until my second year as a college advisor where I felt the need to bring that idea to light again. I feel like, this is my time, and I had different resources. I had different I just had a different audience that I was actually able to tackle. And so I was able to do the etiquette dinner for my senior girls on my last year as a college advisor. And the reason why I bring that up is because I couldn't do what I was trying to do in high school because I wasn't connected with the right resources. I wasn't connected with the right people. And if I would have been just focused and so hard set on, just like making it happen, then it maybe wouldn't have came into fruition the way that in which I would have hoped. So that's kind of just like an example, a personal anecdote of how I was able to see that, like, I had to like lay the foundation of making sure that I had the necessary connections and things like that to make sure that I was able to bring that vision to light. And so also, if you skip now, your next won't be sustainable. And so you have to learn what you're supposed to learn in your current season in order to even be able to experience your next season. And if you don't learn what you're supposed to learn right now, then you will never get what you're supposed to get. And you're going to have to keep relearning that lesson. And God and the atmosphere and the universe, whoever in which you speak to navigate your moral compass and your decision making, basically, you're going to have to keep relearning that same lesson. It's going to come in different ways. So it might have came through your mama the first time. Next thing you know, it was going to come through your coworker. Next thing you know, it was going to come through your man. Next thing you know, it was going to come through your child. I'm telling you, like, whatever lesson that you're supposed to learn in your current season, please take the time to learn it, because you will be given that lesson until you finally pass the test, and there is no testimony without a test. So just make sure that you're locking in on what's now so you can get to what's next, because if you don't get what you're supposed to get, baby, you'll never get there. Also, it's so important that we heal from the past, because healing from the past helps us embrace our present. Sometimes the past is so loud that we can't hear the peace in our present. Sometimes you may have had just like a bad work experience, so you are having trouble appreciating a genuine coworker in your new workspace. You may have had someone in a past relationship, or you may have friendship trauma. Friends that just wasn't it, just didn't show up for you how they were supposed to, mishandle you, so you can't even appreciate when you meet a new person that wants to do life with you, that wants to support you, that is open to hearing your dreams and wants to help you accomplish them. And so it's just, like I say, it's important to heal from your past so you can be able to embrace what you have in front of you. And also, letting go doesn't always mean that you forget. Sometimes it just means that you're done carrying it. You know how when you are bringing in your groceries and like the plastic is like hurting your fingers, and you just keep thinking like, I just can't wait till I make it to the crib. I just got to make it to the door. Sometimes our burdens of the past are like those bags. You carrying them because you're trying to get to a certain point, but once you get to a certain point, those bags start hurting you because they're heavy, and those ain't even those aren't even your groceries to carry. You just trying to get from point one to point B. Point one to point B. Lord Jesus. Point one to point two, point A to point B. And so, like I say, sometimes the things that we're carrying, they hurting us more than they harming us, and we just need to let it go. And so those are some ways in which like you could be able to acknowledge your past, but also not allow your past to predict your present and or your future. And also acknowledging that you are not behind. Person listening to this podcast right now, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not off track. You are not overlooked. You are becoming, and you are right on time. And now is right on schedule. You are on point. I feel like we have this thing, we have these markers in our head. By 25, I should have this. By 30, I should have this. By the time I get my master's, I want to work in this field. I want to do all these things, and that's cool. Like I say, I'm not hating on the goal setting, because baby, I'm a gold digger if I never ever met one. And I mean gold, G-O-A-L, not G-O-L-D. I mean, I'm a gold digger in that way too, but that's another episode. But anyway, like I say, I just feel like sometimes we get so caught up in the timelines that we forget that we are living in the time in which we prayed for before. And so, said all that to say, we are going to go ahead and head to the Killa Countdown. And so if you're familiar with the Killa Countdown, we are going to go navigate our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 model. And we're going to kick it off with 5 reminders for you for right now. 1, I don't need to know the whole path to trust the process. Now, the the title of my vision board for this year is that it's power in the process. I know that I'm somebody that I don't like to discuss things until they have just worked this way all the way through. But I don't really like to talk about things when they're in the process because I just feel like they're undone. But I just want us all to know that, you don't need to know everything to know that you need to do something. And just, like I say, operating every day is enough. 2, the season I'm in has something to teach me. So any current season that you're in is meant to show you something and develop you for the season that you're about to go into. So you have to get what you're supposed to get right now so you can get where you need to be later. 3, what's meant for me will not miss me. So when we talk about the timelines again, sometimes it's not your time yet. And I feel like we get so eager, we get so antsy, we get so excited about, what things could be, or just go ahead and making our next move, that sometimes that's our biggest downfall. We end up falling flat on our face because we're trying to rush something when, like I say, it's power in the process, and whatever's meant for you will never miss you. 4, understand that God is not just in the business of outcomes. He's in the business of development. He wants to make sure that you are ready before you go to the next phase. And the only way to be ready is to go through certain things. And 5, I'm still valuable while I'm becoming. And so sometimes I feel like we don't feel like we're good enough until we accomplish that goal. And you are always going to be in a constant state of chasing. So it's important for you to be able to take those pauses and realize that you're enough just right where you are. So next we're going to lead into 4 questions to ask in this season. Question number 1, what am I learning about myself right now? That's one of my favorite tabletop questions. When I'm going out to dinner with someone, I always ask you, what's the latest thing that you learned about yourself? Because as people, we're always evolving, we're always changing. Who you are, you're not who you were yesterday, last week, last year, just because certain circumstances, occurrence, different things have shaped you differently. And so I always ask yourself that question: what am I learning about myself right now? 2, what habits am I forming in this chapter? So different chapters of our lives, we just are in different spaces. And so it's important for you to be able to pinpoint what habits that you're creating, because these are the things that you're doing every day. And the habits that you're doing today will be reflected in the results that you have tomorrow. So if, for example, if you're someone and you're in a season where you're like, okay, cool, I want to make healthier decisions, as far as maybe eating. And so the habits that you have to create in this current season will be, I'm going to make sure that I don't eat after 9. No matter what, I don't care how hungry I am, I don't care how circumstance, I don't care if we're going to the club and everybody gets something to eat afterwards, I'm going to have the discipline to make sure that I do not eat after 9. That will reflect your results in your weight loss. Just like I say, things like that. 3, who am I becoming while I wait? And so when we're in a waiting season, I feel for me, when I was in my waiting season, I'm not gonna lie, I started losing my faith. I was I don't know if this don't work out for me. I'm just gonna be cool where I'm at. But also it allowed me to appreciate where I was, and to be a good steward of what I had in that moment. And so I think that's something that we all can kind of work on and kind of reflect on, is who am I becoming while I wait? And number 4, what have I already overcome to get here? So sometimes I feel like we're so busy looking to our future that we forget to appreciate our past and just how far we've come. And like I say, also realizing that we are currently sitting in some of the prayers, some of the goals that we kind of pinpointed maybe a while back. Number 3 ways to stay grounded. 1, start a gratitude journal or log just for your current season. And so this could be in your notes in your phone. And just like I say, if you are someone that you feel like you reflect better at night, maybe put in something that you're grateful for that happened that day. Or if you're someone that reflects better in the morning, maybe write something that you're grateful for in your notes. And I feel like that's just a way to keep a constant record of just the things that you're grateful for and the things that's going on in your life in whatever season that you're in. 2, commit to one daily ritual that connects you to peace. Whether that's walking, praying, drawing, painting, whether it's one person that you know that just brings you life and that speaks life into you. whether that's cooking, whether that's cleaning. Like, I know for me, like, what brings me peace every day, or what I make sure that I do every day, is I make sure that I make my bed. I don't care if I'm getting back in the bed, but just taking that moment of taking that breath, that lets me know that I won or I accomplished. If I didn't accomplish anything today, I know that I made my bed, and I know that I won, and I know that it's enough. And so, like I say, just figuring out ways to stay grounded, and like figuring out just different pockets of peace that you can be able to hold on to as you navigate various seasons. And number 3, and it's gonna be hard. And I ain't even put this one into practice yet. Low-key, I'm doing it right now while I'm recording these podcasts. But I have turned your phone off for 30 minutes a day to simply be. So sometimes I feel like we so connected to the outside world that we don't get to connect to us. We don't know our own thoughts. We don't know how we feel. And so one way that I was able to implement, and it's something that I need to get back into, but the first hour in which I would wake up in the morning, like, I wouldn't get on social media. I wouldn't even respond to text messages. Like, I would just wake up, do my 30 minutes on the treadmill, read like whatever book that I'm currently reading, and it was great. It was a great reset, and also it made me feel better prepared for the day, because I had the ability to decide how I was feeling and what I wanted to think, and how my energy was going to be kind of spread out throughout the day. So that's, like I say, those are 3 ways to stay grounded. Start a gratitude journal, commit to one ritual that brings you peace, and then 3, make sure you're turning off your phone or just like disconnecting for 30 minutes a day so you can simply be. And then number 2 things to celebrate. 1, celebrate progress over perfection. Now, like I say, if you're anything like me, you strive to just be excellent and navigate and operate in excellence in everything that you do, but understand that progress is more important than being perfect. And then 2, your ability to keep going even without clarity. So we are capable of doing hard things. Sometimes I think that we doubt ourselves, or we feel like, like, what is going on? This is too much. But you have the ability to keep going even when things may seem unclear, uncertain, when things may seem like they're not working out in our favor, like they always are. And then this is one message I want you to carry. Where I am is necessary for where I am going. I want you to always remember that as you continue to just navigate different seasons in life, and you're trying to figure out, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Understand that you are right where you're supposed to be. So your challenge this week is to find one thing about your now that you're thankful for and speak it out loud. Sometimes we think things, but when you say it out loud, like, that's affirming, you hear it, and also you never know who else may need to hear what you have to say. So whether you want to speak it out loud to yourself, or you want to call a friend, or you want to post about it, you want to write it down, you want to text about it, you want to put it in your notes, just make sure you document one thing about your now that you're thankful for. Don't wait for the next win to celebrate. Honor this moment, because this is your becoming. So, like I say, as you navigate this week, stop being so obsessed with what's next that you miss what's now. The future is coming, but today deserves your full presence too. Until next time, walk in purpose and kill all sources of hate. Thank you for taking some time out your day to kick it with Kaya J.